Peoples eat people's flesh. Their lifestyle seems like the life in the Stone Age. Jumping from a high wooden ladder is not scary for them, rather it is just a simple game. The tattoos on their bodies are also very common, very traditional and difficult to see. They are all located in the same area. These countries are not often seen on the world map, but they have rich cultures, languages, and timeless ways of life. Even though they are dispersed all over the place and people don't know much about them, it's hard to imagine that they still live on Earth in this day and age. They are so magical and amazing. Hello, dear viewers, as we mentioned in our introduction, today we will introduce you with the very different cultures and customs of the countries called Oceania, scattered across the Pacific Ocean. Hear their amazing story and life to the end.
Cannibalism.
The name Oceania includes the landmasses of the entire Pacific Ocean, a territory that stretches from America to Asia. It is said that there are more than 10 islands in this region, but 14 of them are considered independent sovereign countries. Our adventure begins on Papua Island, which is one of the 14. This country is a little bigger than the American state of Texas, but its unity is remarkable. In this small state there are 312 different tribes. On this island where more than 1,000 different languages are spoken, something terrible to hear is performed until these days. Dear our viewers, for your surprise, people eats people's flesh in Papua New Guinea. Of course, not all the tribes living in this country but tribes who are categorized in the Korwe tribe. The members of this tribe hunt humans like deer, killing them with arrows and eating them is their normal practice. While travel reporters ask them what the human meat tastes like, they reply that it tastes like pork. Papua is one of the only countries in the world where people are afraid of being hunted and eaten.
Did he enjoy the taste? It was a good taste.
The people on the island of Papua live mainly from hunting and fruit gathering. Telephones, computers, cars and other products of civilization do not exist here at all. When people get lost in the forest, they scream loudly and have no choice. They meet in a distant forest and call each other. Most of them don't even know what clothes are and they move naked regardless of their gender. The lifestyle of Papua Guinea peoples is also different. They build their nests like birds and spend their night on the tallest trees. They neither want to be elevated from the ground or did they want to construct buildings like urban people. Rather, building homes on the forest in Papua New Guinea comes with the risk of flooding and attacks by venomous animals such as snakes. Since they eat each other's meat, it is also useful for them to look after each other. When human and animal meat is not available, they usually eat food by scrubbing a tree called sago, which is only found in Papua. They also eat on everything in the water, from fish to shrimp. Modern bridges are unknown. They cross large rivers in a circus-like manner, laying down logs. But in this country, especially the rural forest, everything looks like the way of life that existed 100 years ago and is recorded in history. Cannibalism became a concern, but their nature and culture was worth visiting. The eastern part of the island of Papua is called Papua New Guinea. This country is also blessed with nationalism. Its 10 million citizens speak 816 different languages. It is like saying that for 8,200 people, they will get one language of their own. And they are versatile. Most people speak at least 4 different languages. About 12% of the languages spoken in the world are spoken in this small country. Papua New Guinea is also known for its rural areas. 82% of its total population lives in the rural areas of the country. Its landscape is full of hilly areas and green vegetation. But because it is not properly designed for tourists, it is rarely benefited from its natural resources. In Papua New Guinea, the other thing to be mentioned is that their fighting in which tribes perform with each other. These games are played in the mountains of the country. They say it is a game, but in reality it is like a light armed fight. Papua New Guinea has another side. Particularly, Madna Moresby is known as the most dangerous city in the world. Madna Moresby is hell on earth, especially for women. 72% of women living in this city have been raped and sexually abused. This figure is unprecedented in the world. Armed robbery is another feature of this city. The rural areas of the country are also considered beautiful because of the natural charm of nationalism. People who have been there say that the men of our country are as hospitable and friendly as the farmers of our country. While we continue our journey to Oceania, 2,000 kilometers from Moresby, we will get the most beautiful country in the world, Palau. This small country has only 18,000 inhabitants. Although its population is the size of a welcoming village, its natural resources, especially the beautiful sea, are amazing. Snorkeling in the sea with the help of divers and swimming with various insects including fish is a different experience. Palau is one of the countries in the world that does not have its own defense army. It is divided by water and has a unique topography. With 16 states, it looks like thinly veiled breads, each of which has its own governor. Palau is a country founded 3,000 years ago by sailors from Southeast Asia. Milkios serves as the main capital city and the president who governs the 16 states lives in a magnificent palace in the city. It is a highly strategic battlefield that many combatants consider a battlefield. The weapons used in World War I are still usable today. This small country is notable for its emphasis on environmental protection. The country prefers to rely on renewable energy sources. Interestingly, it has an airport that runs entirely on solar energy. If we speak of Palau this much, let's move on to another remarkable country. It is also one of the least visited countries in the world. The name of the country is Nauru and less than 200 people visit the country every year. Nauru has only one hospital, 2 hotels, 1 bank, 1 fire station and 1 post office. People can watch movies on their phones and television but there are no cinemas in the country. It has 10,000 citizens who love their country so much that they stick the flag from their hearts to their homes. And the language they speak is Nauru. Nauru's fame does not stop there. Because the country has easy access to food, its citizens are friends with laziness. Because they sit and eat, Nauru ranks among the countries with the most obese people in the world. 72% of Nauru's 10,000 citizens are obese. But the nature is as beautiful and green as any country in Oceania. Trading in access is only possible in Australian dollars. Since there is only one bank in the country, tourists are advised to bring enough cash. There are only 2 embassies in Nauru. With the exception of Taiwan and Australia, no country has an embassy in Nauru. Possibly due to their huge size, weightlifting is common among the country's residents. The world record holder in weightlifting also hails from this small country. Leaving Nauru, we find the Marshall Islands, which considers itself part of the United States. Almost all the products sold here are imported from the United States. All Marshallese speak fluent English even with an American accent. They usually play basketball and shop only with US dollars. They prefer Bud Light, the most popular American beer. Like Americans, they measure distances in miles and feet and temperatures in Fahrenheit. It has a military village in the state of USA. About 2/3 of the Marshallese Island residents have immigrated to the United States. All this happened when the Marshall Islands were not part of the United States, but an independent country recognized by the United Nations. So, if someone says that the United States and the Marshall Islands are in love, it is because the country receives $70 million in aid every year through an agreement with Washington. In turn, the island allows the U.S. military to use its strategic locations without restraint. Most countries in Oceania also have a traditional drink called kava. When we pull it, our body is stimulated, it gives us energy, and the cells speak to it. Some say that drinking kava is like smoking marijuana. They say that Russia has vodka, and Italy has wine, so we rely on kava. But it is proven that it is addictive and harmful to health. Another specialty of the region is the betel nut. This plant is native to South Asia and the Pacific Islands. When people eat the soft, thin wood of this plant, their mouths fill with a red substance that feels like drinking blood. It is totally addictive. Everyone, from children to adults, uses this plant. It is said to give us strength and make us feel better, but the damage to health is enormous. It causes unprecedented oral cancer. Nowhere else in the world is mouth cancer as prevalent. It also carries a high risk of brain damage. On the other hand, the economies and employment opportunities of many countries depend on this evil plant. As we continue our exploration of fascinating countries in Oceania, we discover Micronesia. This country is said to have been founded 2,000 years ago. It consists of 4 separate islands, namely Pampa, Koshri, Chuk and Yap. This country is known for its stunning beaches. Micronesia has a low crime rate and now attracts tourists from all over the world. Let us continue our journey and introduce you to a country you may have never heard of. This country is called Tuvalu, and most of its land is occupied by the airport. Tuvalu is the 4th smallest country in the world, with a population of less than 10. There is only one prison in this country. There is another peculiar custom among our people. When the sun goes down and the temperature drops, all men and women, children and adults come out to play at the airport. Football, rugby, cricket, netball and running are played according to choice and ability. When everyone is playing and suddenly a landing occurs, the alarm bells will sound and people are asked to leave the field. Next, let's go to Kobardi. This country consists of 33 islands. Challenged by climate change, Kobardi is swallowed up by the Pacific Ocean every year. Forecasts show that it will sink completely in the near future. Science estimates that the country of Kobardi will no longer exist in the 21st century. It seems that its 100,000 residents must first find their settlement place. Living on the equator, these people always see the sunrise first, counting the days until their sun sets and their land disappears. For them, the ocean was their life. They got their food from it and they worked in relation with the ocean. Now their demolition is about to become the same as the ocean. Before the worst could happen, they migrated to Australia and New Zealand and began to discover life beyond Kiribati. And they have also a message for those who don't see climate change as a problem. They stated that, "You should learn from us so that you can a better world for children in the future." Let's travel to the other wonderful country of Oceania, where the seriousness of the world's climate change has reached. Their name is Solomon Islands, and most of the people of this country have brown hair. However, they do not dye their hair as we see in the modern world, but nature has given them a different identity. While this hair color is common among completely white Europeans, studies have shown that the people of the Solomon Islands are genetically different from Europeans. When they are seen they are classified as red or black, and it is believed that their yellow hair is partly due to their exposure to the sun and the fact that they eat plenty of fish. Now let's take a casual look at Fiji, the most famous Pacific island we have seen so far. Fijians love playing golf surrounded by coconut trees overlooking the Pacific Ocean. In their previous history, they have a history of cannibalism. This country, which is currently a tourist hub, can be heard saying over and over again that this bad habit has been eliminated. Fiji consists of 33 islands and has a population of 99,000. Another Fijian tradition is the 3,000-year-old kava ceremony, where they sit in a circle and stand together starting from the oldest. Plastic is not produced or used in Fiji to protect the environment as it is surrounded by the ocean. Fiji is also popular in rugby. Let's proceed to another Tonga. The special thing about this country is that there is no activity on the Sabbath. Workplaces are closed, shops are not open, and everyone is stuck at home. The Christian king of the country ordered all Tongan citizens not to work on Sunday. If someone is found working outside a hospital or police station on Sunday, a serious punishment will be taken on him, her. Even the country's airlines are closed on Sundays. Apart from resting carefully on Sunday, chilling and shouting music on the rooftops are not permitted. Tongans are allowed to do only 3 things on Sunday. These are going to churches, eating and sleeping. 97% of the country's population is Catholic. Lastly, we come to Guam, which is governed as an ally of the United States. Guam, whose name means home, has a population of about 175,000. Guam was a Spanish colony for nearly 300 years. Today, the United States rules it like a tyrant. That's why the people of this country speak fluent English. Although they cannot become president, they are granted American citizenship at birth. Their ethnic origins range from Filipino to Hawaiian, Japanese to Korean. Our dear channel family, we would like to share with you this wonderful country surrounded by the Pacific Ocean and located at the edge of the Oceania continent. Well, that's the end of the fascinating story about the people living in Papua New Guinea. In the case of future programs and productions you would like to see, please send your suggestions and opinions through the comments section, and you, newcomers to this channel, can become a member of the family by subscribing to the Media Tunnel, where interesting and entertaining stories are presented every day. Have a great time.